Well, I've got the one change is I found a vintage shifter, and so I'm changing that. I've got the shifter, the old new style shifter, out of the truck, and then I got to figure out how to adapt that, and then I got to figure out how to mount like the trans brake activation button and the trans brake power button. So there's two things on there. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing with that and just kind of follow along. Here are the two shifters, new one, old one. And in the background, I'm watching what is my favorite YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys have subscribed to these guys. They're pretty cool. They're called the BucketList Mob. Some pretty cool dudes. So like and subscribe, will you? So I'm going from this shifter, which the reason I went from this shifter is because it is a forward pattern shifter, meaning in order for it to go forward, or to go backwards, you got to raise that. Hold on a second. There we go. So this is a forward pattern shifter, meaning all the way back would be first gear. Well, we now have a reverse valve body in the truck, so this isn't going to work, because in order to shift back into second gear, you have to lift this lock out, and then same thing going down into first. Problem is, to go from third to second, you just bump it, and that's what it should be doing, going from 1, 2, 3, not 3, 2, 1. So plus it's a new style. It worked great for what we needed it when it was forward pattern, when we had the OD in it, and it's got kind of a new looking cover, which I'm not too keen on. So we're going to this old style B&M quick click shifter, and it's kind of more, it's definitely scabby like the truck, but it's definitely more fitting for the truck. The mechanics are in really good shape. You can see how good a shape this thing's in as far as mechanically. So, and the way this one works, this always stays in this position, and you just go up. So it's a true ratchet style. It goes through the gears. One of the issues with this is if this is for a 4-speed automatic, so it's got an extra detent. So you've got all the way forward and park. And let me set this down. I can show you what's going on. So that's all the way in park, right? It's all the way forward. You can see the ratchet and the pawl. So if I go down into reverse, that's reverse, right? Neutral. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's okay, because we have the exact same shifter in the Fairlane as far as the mechanism goes. The cover for the Fairlane is a little different. It's got a pod here for a transmission temperature sensor, gauge, I'm sorry. But we'll figure this out. And the way we did that is down here in the bottom, we put a spacer so that this couldn't go any further than that. So the mounting screw and a spacer, and I was good to go. Yeah, so what I've got is a old bracket that I think it's an old transmission bracket for something. I don't know, maybe you guys, probably some Chevy stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this bracket go on here, and I'm going to weld it into place. It's going to have to be like that. So I am going to slot that, and hopefully that will work. It looks like it's in the right, yep, that looks like it's in there. So I'm gonna, give me a minute and I will cut this thing up. So I've got this little tab welded on here, and I should be able to tighten that there. And then we go all the way, that's park. Let's move this over here so you can see it maybe. Okay, I don't know if I've got it adjusted right. Park, reverse, neutral, 1, 2. Got to take a little bit out. So I purposely put this bigger nut right here because if I have to get a socket to it, I can. I didn't do the pretty ARP just because I had some extra ARP stuff laying around. So let's try that before I tighten it up this time. And this gets spacers underneath it to raise it up a little bit, so I don't think that's a problem. Should I take a little more out? Yeah, maybe. Do that. Tighten that down. I should call it good. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. If I have to, I can shorten that one. So let's go back to park, reverse, neutral, 1, 2, 3. I think that's good. I think I can call that good. 3, 2, 1, reverse, or neutral for reverse, park. So there, I think we're good there. The next part, really, this should have a reverse. As I was saying before, I was really interrupted by a dying battery. This should have a reverse lockout on it to be NHRA approved. They didn't have them back then, so I'm going to have to fabricate something up. I did it on the Fairlane. I put a pin, and I'll show you what that looks like. The Fairlane's not here, but I'll throw a little picture of it, what it looks like. Here I drilled it in the position where we would go into reverse to prevent it, and then you actually have to pull it out to get it to go into reverse, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do, but I don't have one. But thankfully, I think I got it last time at McMaster Car, and I'll just order one. Then I got to punch a hole in that case right there. I already looked at the micro switch for the neutral safety that goes on here. You can see there's a move this back. You can see there's a little ramp here, right here, and that is where the roller from the micro switch. So I don't have the correct micro switch. The correct micro switch would be similar to this, but it has a roller bearing on it, a little arm with a roller bearing on it. I'll show you what that looks like too. So I'm gonna have to order that to get this right, and then yeah, so then I'll have reverse lockout, and I will have neutral safety, so I can't start it in the gear, which is good to have. It's required anyways. The stop is there, and I think that's about it for the shifter for today. It's only Tuesday, I'll get McMaster ordered and probably have it day after tomorrow, and then I can finish that portion. So I'll order a switch, and I will order the pull pin. I had one in the truck. I wonder what we did with it. I'll have to look at that. So this is the old bracket that was mounted up and in plain view, kind of because this is a really cool looking switch and I kind of wanted it to be seen. I'm not so sure that I still want it to be seen. It's still kind of cool. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? What I was thinking about doing is mounting this here because I have to have a ground for this light. See, it's a single wire. The case is ground. And this is our trans brake activation light so that we have power. And it's a brake light that flashes for like 5 times and then goes solid, just so that you're aware that the trans brake is active. So I'm not sure. I mean, I was originally thinking about like mounting it here. I'm not sure, so you can still see it. I kind of like that you can see the switch and all that stuff, but you know, I'm not sure. What do you guys think? It could be that way. I'm not sure. If I go this way, that switch is kind of like at the edge, and then I'm not sure how good and stiff this is going to be mounting wise. Might be okay. Maybe I'll try that. So I apologize for not filming it, but I put in a nut zert, which you thread this little piece on here, drill a hole for this pilot, and then if you can see it inside, I don't know if you can. Let's see if you can. See how it swells the face of it so that it holds it from the backside. The problem is I have to get a ground for this because it's a single wire. So I'm gonna have to, I can pull ground from the bracket that it's on, which means I'm gonna have to make a little wire to jump from here to here. This is one of the mounts that goes into the case of the shifter, and I can pull my ground from there. It's very, very low current. It's well less than an amp because it's LED, but I just got to make a little short wire. I'm going to do that. It doesn't have to be insulated because it's the ground only, and that's where I'm at. I'm going to get that done and then mount that thing. So a couple days later, I got my package from McMaster-Carr with my pieces parts in it. So I've got my micro switch with a little roller. That will be the neutral safety switch. That should be what was originally on this, and it should work. This bolt pattern should be correct so that you put this on here, right here, and it should line up with the neutral safety switch. So we'll see. I'll put some screws on that. I've got some screws to try. And then the other part is what I'm going to use for the neutral safety switch. So this shifter's old, and back in the 60s, and they didn't have sorry about that, neutral safety switches. So what I'm doing is I am putting something similar. I have something similar to this on the Fairlane, and you can see it's got like a little plunger. And if I position this just right, it should require me to pull what would be this little red knob, doggone it, this little red knob out, and it should clear this leading edge of the shifter. So when I'm all the way back in, that would be third, second, first, neutral, then I need to have this piece right here preventing this from coming forward. So it'd be about there. And the last time we did this with the Fairlane, we just welded it on. So find the position, drill a hole oversized for that so that it fits through, and that's really how that should work. So give me a second and we'll see how this goes. So let me show you the position that I've got this in. You can kind of see the roller down there. And let's see if I can get this to work right. See the roller. Let me put it all the way in park. You can see the roller is compressed in park. It's uncompressed in neutral. It's compressed again or in reverse, it's compressed again in neutral. So neutral's compressed. Reverse is not. Park is compressed. And it goes for all the other gears too. If I move this, so it goes in the other gears, it's uncompressed. So in the compressed state, it will allow the car to start, which is only in park, not reverse, neutral, not any other gear. You can kind of see that. So I think that's going to work. Now the question is, by the time I figure out where this is going to be positioned, this edge, this leading edge of the shifter mechanism, where it's going to be positioned, will I have enough room without getting into the area here to put this reverse neutral piece on here? So I'm gonna start playing with that and see if I can figure this out. So here you see, get all these boogers out of here. I'll blow all this out, but you can see, so there is third gear, second gear, first gear, neutral. Then going into reverse, I need to block that. So what I'm going to do is the nose of this goes in that hole and it prevents it from going into reverse. And I can make it as tight or as loose as I want to be. All I got to do now is sand that off there and a couple tack welds and I'm good to go. Man, I love McMaster car. I'm going to try to do this with one hand first, or that's, sorry, third. Second, first, neutral. Without this, I can't go into reverse. And what I have to do is then pull this lever up, and I'm going to move it with my knee. And it goes into, let's see, whoops, goes into reverse and park. And then it automatically snaps back down. So, yeah, man, this is good stuff. Neutral, pull up, reverse, park. So we're good. Now all I gotta do is like clear that bracket. So on to some more stuff. That doesn't fit too bad. I'd say that's probably good enough for who it's for. Yeah, all right, cool. So here it is. This is, you can see the light. So to arm the trans brake, so you can't just accidentally push this button while you're going down the road. Turn that on, this will light up. And it will arm the trans brake. Then you pull it out of, let's do this, out of park, reverse, pops into neutral. Safety switch relax. You heard that clink. 1, 2, 3. So we'll go back up here. Say, all right, let's get ready to race. So that's it. So So it's ready to go. I think Mike's going to come over. We're going to fiddly fart around with getting this thing bolted into the truck, wired into the truck, and call it ready. Thanks for following, guys. Appreciate that.